Yo, what up? So I will get straight to it. So look, these little fidget toys, I've been in love with this thing lately. It's some twisty fidget toy thing. Anyways, I just got promoted to brown belt a couple weeks ago. And during my journey from white belt to brown belt, I left corporate America. Have a few businesses doing around 6 million combined top line revenue. I've become a better husband, better father. And a lot of it have been because of principles that I applied from jiu-jitsu. Three principles, matter of fact. And here are the three principles. Number one, keep showing up. Number two, ask questions, which takes a humility. And number three is a calm under pressure. By the way, my name is Chris Gray. I'm a husband, father, entrepreneur. I make these videos because I want to teach the lessons I've learned to help me get some level of success. And the better, or the more I teach them, the better I get. So it's a bit selfish, but I hope that this stuff that I'm giving you is helpful. Um, so let me get straight to it. Started my jiu-jitsu journey um, early 2016. I started learning marketing late 2014. And then somewhere in 2015, started taking it a little more serious. But he- here's the thing. Learning the skill sets of marketing and business wasn't easy, but I enjoyed it. Doing jujitsu is not easy, not even to this day. I mean, I just got back from training, I don't know, a couple of hours ago, and I'm just sore. I'm 42, man. It's ain't easy. Not easy, but I do enjoy it, right? It's like the hardest part is getting there, but you're always grateful when you leave. You're grateful that you went when you're leaving. But when I started connecting jujitsu principles with business and marketing and let's just keep it with business and marketing for now, because I did connect some of the family stuff, but just for the purpose of this video, let's talk business and marketing. When I started connecting jiu-jitsu principles to that, things took off, like the art of misdirection, the art of patience, the art of timing. These are transferable principles. These are very important in jiu-jitsu. They're transferable to a lot of different things. When you talk about business and marketing, very transferable, very applicable. And when I started really applying those principles to different areas of my life, then things took off. I left corporate America in 2019. Haven't looked back since. Life is good. So let me give you a breakdown of the three principles and how they apply. So I found this little graph, and I think it does a good job of explaining the point number one here of keep showing up. So if you do jiu-jitsu, if you done any type of anything hard, the hardest part is to show up day after day after day, and you do that for years, not just a month or two or 3 years. That's why people fall off diets and working out plans. So they go hard for a month, 30 days, whatever, then they're done. Or 3 months or even 6 months and they're done. No, the key is to do whatever you're doing for years. And so I learned that with jujitsu. I just, I wasn't good at it. I'm better than I was back then. I'm still not that good, but the key is just to keep showing up. Same thing with business. You just keep showing up and try to suck less day after day after day. Do that for years. But here's the hard part besides just being consistent. This little graph right here. Imagine this graph keeps going. So let's imagine this is jujitsu. And when you first get into it, there's a big growth spike because, when you get into this martial art, you start learning things. And even as a white belt, you'd be able to kick a lot of people's butts on the street because you just simply learn some stuff. So there's some big growth spike. And then there's a plateau and you're just showing up and you're getting your ass kicked. You're like, man, when am I going to get better? This happens for months, if not years. And some people quit, right? They'll quit right in and they won't go back and then it just drops. All right, but then let's say you graduate to the next belt level, big spike, because you have become proficient enough to go to the next belt level where you know some stuff. You're better than you were back here. Is a big spike. Now there's the next level, and you're just plateauing, and you're plateauing, and you're plateauing. And all of a sudden, imagine this continues. There'll be another big spike, and then another plateau, right? So if you could imagine this whole thing, like imagine it went on infinitely, what you'd see is these big spikes, then plateaus, then a little spike, and then a plateau, and spike, and then plateau. What this means is that inevitably you are in the plateau. When you are learning something hard or doing something difficult, most of your time will be spent in the plateau. And that is the hard part. because the plateau sucks. Because the plateau, you start questioning yourself. I've been doing this thing for months, years even, and I'm not seeing progress. Let me go ahead and quit. And people around you will tell you to quit. But if you keep pushing and you get past that threshold, boom, there's a spike and then you're back into the plateau. This is the hardest part about showing up is not only going to get your ass kicked, like quite literally in jiu-jitsu and quite figuratively in business, you get to keep showing up to get your ass kicked and getting better, but then you're going to have this inevitable feeling of I'm not making any progress. But, or you just have to keep showing up, which is easier and said than done. That's been one of the main things. The main things of business is I've just been too pig-headed to quit. And I get better, right? I get better and better. And sometimes I take a step back and then a step forward, right? Well, they say 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, then 1 step back, 2 steps forward. One. Like that happens a lot in business, but I just keep showing up. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. Give my ass, what was it, last week? I'm a brown belt. There's this guy who was a purple belt. He really should be brown, but he's purple. And this dude was going ham on me one day. He got the best of me, tapped me like twice. And that hasn't happened with him. I had an off day. He had a great day. And he asked me what was wrong. I was like, dude, you're just better than I am. And that's hard to say, especially when somebody's a belt level below you, which leads me to the next point of asking questions, which takes humility. So asking questions, which ultimately is a sign of humility. So let's talk about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Back to my case with my guy who tapped me a couple of times last week. Um, I could have walked out of there with my ego shattered and upset or mad, but in that instance, I was like, hey man, you did this. How did you do that? How do I stop that in the future? All right. So this guy just did a move on me and it was great. And he took me out of it. I'm going to ask him how he did that move. How can I defend it? Where did I mess up? This seems like, oh yeah, you definitely should ask and learn. But no, that's easier said than done. If you get your butt handed to you by somebody who's supposed to be less proficient than you are in something, it's kind of hard to ask them how they just kicked your ass. But if you do, you learn more and then it'll be harder for them to do that again. That whole little principle though happens from the get-go, from the white belt level. Hey, you just did that to me. How do I stop that? Or, hey, I just had this guy in a hold or a choke or something. I didn't finish it. How do I finish it next time? Hey, I just had you in a choke. You never tapped. Where did you feel I was going wrong? How can I have done that better? Same principle goes to business. I've learned so much from jiu-jitsu from people who are at my level, but more so people who are above me. Fighting them, I learned so much. With jiu-jitsu or with business, whatever your business is, I mean, I have my business. I find people who are doing what I'm looking to do. And how do they do it? What are some of the things they learn? How can I position myself to get around that person? Not so much just even, like, not even just get around them. How can I meet that person, add value to them? However that looks, how do I add value to their life? And then through proximity, I'm going to start learning things about them and what they did and how they're successful by just asking questions. But it takes a level of humility. You know, like when I first got into the business game, I would work for free. I'm talking about hard work. This isn't like some foo-foo, rinky-dinky, do this little job for you for free. Like this is extensive stuff that they would pay people thousands of dollars to go do. And I would do it for them for free. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to learn. And what I was providing, it wasn't only just that I was giving them something for free. I was giving them quality work for free. Again, you would pay thousands of dollars elsewhere to get this at the level that I'm doing it, but I'm going to work really hard at it. I'm going to give you my best. I'm going to give it to you for free just so that I can earn the right to ask questions. I want to give, and then take, and then give. It's like that whole cliche bank account thing. If you have a bank account, you're just withdrawing, you're going to go negative, right? You're putting in, small withdrawal. Putting in, small withdrawal. Over time, you'll have a bunch of capital in there and you can withdraw a little bit and be okay. And that's kind of what I've done with some relationships where I've just done my best to give to those people and then ask questions and learn from proximity and so on and so forth. So that whole ask questions, especially when I think I should know something or I should be better, that part's the hardest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% of the day. I'll get my butt kicked in jiu-jitsu and I'll just leave. And suck my thumb and drive home. But then I'll think about it, come back and ask my coach or ask that person those questions. So it's not easy. It's not something I just have down pat. But I've learned when I do that in jiu-jitsu, when I do that in business, ask questions and get better despite my ego, then I get better and there's progress. And then the last thing, which is probably the biggest thing, is calm under pressure. When I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I was, I don't know, 240 or so. I'm like 200 pounds right now, like 205, 210, depending. But when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was 240. And my coach at the time was like 150, 155 or something. And I'm thinking I'm about to destroy this guy when we fight. I'm like, dude, this small little man about to get crushed. And I quickly found out that that wasn't the case. This guy, I'm talking about pressure, he felt like he was 400 pounds. I had never felt that type of force on my body where I tapped because of the pressure. It was so much. And then I learned in jiu-jitsu, they start putting you in these positions when you're fighting somebody it's very intimate, man. It sucks. Like there's literal pressure on you. It does not feel good. You have a guy tilting your head and it's like he's about to tear your head off or, pop it off with the pressure that he's applying with his body or his shoulder or whatever. It is very uncomfortable. In those situations, you must be calm. Initially, I panicked because I never felt that type of pressure. I never felt that claustrophobic, especially if it's a bigger person and they're just squishing you and there's nowhere to breathe. Like you will panic and then you'll do something stupid and they will submit you. So then one of the first things I learned is I'm quite literally under terrible pressure. I need to chill, breathe, be calm, right? Think about what I need to do next and then do that step and then go to the next step and then the next step. And so you're just breathing and chilling and embracing the suck. You can imagine how this applies to business, especially when you start getting a little further along in the business journey. Stuff sucks, man. It's hard. It's hard. And there's a lot of pressure. It's figurative, but it's pressure nonetheless. Pressure to, when you're providing for other people, that's pressure. When you're providing for your family, that's even more pressure. Then there's a pressure that you put on yourself and the anticipations and expectations from everybody else around you. And so, and then there's days where crap is just hitting the fan, like straight up hitting the fan. You're about to lose your biggest client. You're about to lose thousands upon thousands of dollars in this one thing. That's tough. And in those situations, when you feel that pressure, it's the same exact thing. Okay, this is happening. This really sucks. Let me breathe. What is the next step I need to do? Let me execute that. Once that's done, let me execute the next step. It sounds really simple, but it is not easy. And not everybody does it. Otherwise, anxiety and panic wouldn't be a thing. Everybody just calm and chilling under pressure. When this stuff happens, even with, my relationship with my wife or my daughter, things get heavy, pressure's on. Let me breathe. Let me think. Let me make the accurate move. Or the right move. So anyways, these 3 principles I just shared with you has helped me build $1 million businesses. And the principles are simple, but not easy. And so if you do jiu-jitsu, take it for what it's worth. You know exactly what I'm talking about. As far as the jiu-jitsu, the principles I just gave to you in the jiu-jitsu format, you get that. But now know that can be applied, and those principles are transferable to different areas of your life. And if you're a business person and you have the time, I highly recommend jiu-jitsu. It's tough sport. It's a very effective martial art. I'm not gonna sit here and poop on other martial arts, but if they're not using it in MMA, if you don't see a UFC fighter using this technique, then you got to ask yourself, how effective is it? In jiu-jitsu, every UFC fighter knows some jiu-jitsu, otherwise they're screwed. So if you haven't done it, try it. It'll help you be a better business person, but it'll help you be a better person overall if you use those principles in different areas of your life. Anyways, appreciate you watching. Peace. Hey, yo, real quick before you go, if you're liking this, I am forming a community of business owners that I vibe with. I haven't formed it yet, but I am forming it. And if you're interested in joining that community, it's going to be for free. But if you're interested in joining it, go to this channel, like my channel or whatever. And there should be an about section. If you go to that about section within my channel, you should see my email there. Just send me an email and let me know. Send me a message. And if you're a good fit and we vibe, then when that community gets formed, you can join it. Again, the community is free. I just want to make sure that we have the right people in there. And then also, if you're liking these videos, please like and subscribe. I don't really care about it blowing up. It just, what it does is when you like and subscribe, and if me and you are aligned, that other people like me and you will have an opportunity to see these videos, and then we can grow the group further. And again, the point of that group is for all of us to make money. We all have different strengths. We'll create a community, or I want to create a community where we take those strengths and help each other make money. Anyways, I hope this helps. I appreciate it. See you. Bye.